Wonderful. So yes, welcome to today's session on the Circular Electricals Fund. Just to give a quick intro to who we have on the call today. So I'm Neve, I'm the Local Authority and Environmental Partnerships Manager. And we're also joined by Sarah, who is our Circular Electricals Fund Project Manager, and Rowan, the Senior Project Coordinator. Wonderful. And just as an overview of what we're going to be doing today, so this is our quick intro and agenda run through. Then we will let you know who we are, who is Materia Focus, what do we do. Then the exciting part, we'll talk about the fund, we'll give a quick overview, and then we will run through how to apply, and then there'll be time for questions at the end. So I will hand over to Sarah.
Thank you, Neve, and good afternoon, everybody. So just a quick recap on Materia Focus, who we are. We're an independent, not-for-profit organisation, saving valuable, critical and finite materials from going to waste by making it easier for everyone across the UK to fix, donate and recycle their electricals. And we do this through insights, through investments and through inspiration. In terms of insights, we produce and share insights to improve the UK e-waste system and inform policy decisions. And an example of the type of thing that we do there, we've undertaken 13 in-depth studies that have investigated everything from how to recycle batteries to consumer attitudes to recycling. Investments, we identify and fund projects that make it easier to reuse and recycle or that encourage circular design. And to date, we've funded 60 projects, which are making it easier for 12 million people to recycle their electricals. And in terms of inspiration, we also inspire, educate and encourage the UK public to fix, donate, sell and recycle their unwanted electricals through our Recycle Your Electricals campaign. So many of you may be familiar with the Electricals Recycling Fund, and through this fund, we've funded projects which expand collection services and trial new drop-off and collection services. With this new Circular Electricals Fund, we're looking at advancing other aspects of the circular economy, helping to keep electricals and their materials in use for longer. It's a £1 million fund, and it seeks to address 3 key challenges in consumer electricals, covering materials, product design and business models. So for materials, using and recovering materials more efficiently to conserve resources, reduce waste and recover value. New product design, making electricals more durable, repairable, upgradable and long-lasting. And new business models, developing new services which encourage sharing and the reusing of products, looking at moving away from ownership models and thinking about new ways of acquiring products. So the types of projects that we're looking for in these 3 areas, getting into a bit more detail in terms of materials, we're looking at new methods and new approaches, advanced recycling technologies to recover more technology metals and valuable metals from products, researching and commercialising bio-based and sustainable alternatives for materials being used in products, modular design for recycling so that components and parts can be sorted and separated and dismantled more easily, and then industrial collaborations which close the loop on supply chains and actually help to get more recycled materials back into products. On product design, we're looking for projects which encourage repairable and modular electricals so that components can be replaced and fixed more easily and keep products in use for longer. Self-healing, self-repairing, innovative material use in products. Right to repair, so looking at online marketplaces where spares can be accessed more easily, and where you can access things like online guides to enable you to undertake repairs yourselves, and also upgrade friendly design, so looking at expanding the functionality of products so that durability is enhanced. And then for business models, we're looking at things like product as a service, so leasing products, large-scale trade-in and refurbishment programs which allow for the refurbishment and resale of electrical products, and business-to-business sharing platforms to keep high-value products in use for longer, and also things like deposit return schemes, so ways of incentivising consumers to return their products so that they can be recycled within the system. So we've got a few examples just to bring it to life for you. So these are real world examples of things that are already going on out there. And these are not endorsements by Material Focus. Other brands are available. But just looking at materials, so this is an example from a company called Jiva Materials Limited, and it's about printed circuit boards. So the boards in printed circuit boards are usually made from fiberglass and epoxy resins, which means they have to be shredded and subjected to a thermal treatment to recover the metals within printed onto the boards. With this board, it's based on natural fibre, so the board is using a natural fibre, which means that it's actually water soluble within controlled conditions, and the fibres and the copper and the electronic components can be easily recycled end of life, which leads to a much lower carbon footprint covering both the manufacture and the recycle of the circuit boards. For product design, we're showcasing here the Kibu headphones. So ordinarily, kids' headphones are made of non-recyclable materials. They get damaged fairly easily, and then they tend to be replaced wholesale. So one set of headphones for another set of headphones. With these headphones, they're actually made from 3D printed recycled plastics. They can be ordered online, and you can choose some of the aspects of the design yourself. They come in a kit form so that children and parents can build the headphones together. And then if one part breaks, you can order a new part online, and you get the new part with an educational DIY repair kit to enable the repair, and the defunct spare can be sent back for recycling. And then business models. This is an initiative that's being piloted in the Czech Republic, undertaken by Philips. It's called Philips Fixables. And the aim of this is to make it as easy to fix a product as it is to buy a new one. And it's based on the idea that 70% of people would actually rather fix their products, but that some components are subject to cracks and chips, which makes some of the parts redundant, and people can tend to throw the whole product away. This is actually giving open access to all of the instructions to be able to 3D print spare parts. And whilst we understand that not every home is likely to have a 3D printer, we're interested in this as a business model because it offers opportunities for more local production and local repair and utilisation of spares. So who is this fund for? Well, it's for any registered organisation. So if you're a business, we'd expect you to be registered with Companies House. It's not for individuals, and it's not for international projects. It covers industry bodies, non-profits, private companies, producer compliance schemes, universities and research institutions. And we're really actively encouraging collaborations in this space. And we're offering funding up to £150,000 per project. And in addition to the funding, we're also offering the opportunity to access industry networking and collaboration. So if you need outreach for a particular part of the industry, we're happy to put you in touch with other people in the supply chain. And that may also include things like organising focus groups or consultation meetings. We can offer communication support if needed. So that might be things like if you are designing a consumer survey, we'll be able to input there. And obviously, in terms of the insights work that we do, we can help you to access industry data, research and trends should you need it to strengthen your project.
So the first thing we'd recommend doing if you're thinking of applying is going to the Material Focus website, where you can find an information page on the Circular Electricals Fund and the application page. Now, if you go to the application page, underneath more information, there's a button that says download our applicants pack. If you do that, it will download a zip folder, which contains all sorts of useful sort of guidance documents to help you with your own application. So it's got things like a draft copy of our terms and conditions. There's templates for your project plan and risk log. It's got our Circular Electrical Fund Applicants Guide, which has got our criteria, and it's got examples of the sorts of projects that we're looking to fund, a bit like Sarah spoke about earlier. And it's also got a blank version of the application form. And as the application form is 40 plus questions long, we'd highly recommend that you pre-prepare your answers using the blank copy. It also means you can share this with your team or your partners, and it means you've got a hard copy of all your answers once you've submitted. Once you're happy with the answers you've prepared, if you go back to the application page and complete the online form and then submit that to us when you're ready. There's also a button at the bottom of the page, which means you can send a link to your email address, which allows you to pick up where you left off if you did want to do it in multiple, if you couldn't fit it all in at the same time. So this is our criteria. This is how we're going to be assessing applications. First and foremost is circular economy alignment. So we'll be looking for how well we think your project contributes to the circular economy of electrical appliances. Then, of course, it's innovation. So we're looking for something really different that we haven't seen before, something that's going to have a measurable impact. Also looking to see if your project's got other environmental or social impacts. Will it improve resource efficiency or add social value? We'll also be looking at the business model and scalability. Can it be scaled up to like a national scale and beyond? We're looking for the right team with expertise in this field, and we'll be looking into your finance and budgeting. There's quite a lengthy section in the application for that. So we'll be looking for planning, looking for measurable outcomes and monitoring, as well as your project management approach and how you're planning to keep track of progress as your project progresses. So this is our timeline. We launched the fund on the 14th of May, which means we've been open for just under a month now. And the fund will close on the 14th of August. So we'd highly recommend getting your applications in well ahead of the deadline, if possible. Then on the 18th of September, we'll be holding a judging panel to assess the applications. And you'll know by the 30th whether or not you've been successful. Once we've let you know the results, if you have been successful, we'll be sending over a copy of the terms and conditions and looking to get the ball rolling as soon as possible.
Yes, so as Rowan said, we're holding a judging panel on the 18th of September, and we're very excited about the judging panel that we've got together to assess applications. It covers all aspects of the circular economy, from startup companies and design and manufacturing of products right through to ultimate disposal of products. So we've got Andy Gomersall, who's Executive Director of N2S, which are a circular IT asset management company. He's also co-founder of Bioscope Technologies, which is a business which is looking at new capability to use bioleaching to recover metals from electrical components, and is an ambassador for digital inclusion as well. We've got Yuanda Akinola, who's an engineer and innovator. She is actively involved in university spin-outs and STEM activities, knowledge transfer and skills. We've got Asad Hamir, who's a co-founder of Click, who are a new start tech company. They look at supplying businesses with all aspects of their tech and IT equipment, from sustainable sourcing through to monitoring and utilising products and making sure that's environmentally effective, to ultimate refurbishment of products. And then we've got Peter Moody, who'll be known to many of you from Gap Group, who's a large-scale electrical waste recycler in the UK. Also started up that company himself, so he's got that experience, and they are getting into the reuse market in the last couple of years. We've got Teresa Arbuckle, who's Managing Director of Beko in UK and Ireland, so expertise there in terms of the producer's perspective and servicing and supply chain. Teresa herself does have a background in marketing, so we've got that to bring to the initiative. And then we've got our own Scott Butler, who's Executive Director at Material Focus and brings a wealth of knowledge on electricals and also the consumer side of things.